You know how they say the older you get, the faster time moves? I think that applies to just about everything in life except the New Orleans Saints. I know tomorrow is Halloween and not Groundhog Day, but aren't we going through the same season as 2022 and 2023? What will make it stop? Who knows? Maybe Dennis Allen was a real jerk like 60 Groundhog Days ago, and now he's overcompensated with an abundance of niceness. Whatever the case, my favorite line for football season is sports writers go to sleep in August, and when they wake up, it's January. Well, for the love of God, can someone wake me up because this dream sucks? Unlike the Dattitude podcast, which is up next.
If you're looking for the latest scoop and in-depth interviews on the Saints, the NFL, the Pelicans, LSU, along with the best bets of the week, then lucky you. Along with high-powered, in-the-know guests who cover our teams, Jim Derry brings plenty of Dattitude. And he'll always tell you the way it is, or at least the way he thinks it is.
Where you at, New Orleans? And hello to my friends elsewhere, everywhere, out there, who can't wait to dress up as Dennis Allen tomorrow night. Look up at the sky and say, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. You think it'll work? Man, it's worth a shot. But you got to wait till Halloween, though. How about we give this a shot today? This is Dattitude, episode number 302, however you want to say it. Presented by Evangeline Securities for a Wednesday, October the 30th, 2024. I can't wait to do Halloween tomorrow with Uncle Big Nick. I mean, what's he going to dress up as? A 49ers fan? I mean, that should be good. I can't wait. Yeah. Big Nick. There you go. See? He's already here. Am I dressing as a clown tomorrow? Yeah, I'm gonna dress up just like you. I'm gonna put on a McCaffrey jersey and pretend like my team's good. Oh wait, I can just do that with my own team. I don't need your team to dress up like a clown. Put on a Rattler jersey, maybe. I had to have to buy one first, but who knows? I'm your host, in case you haven't figured this out, Jim Derry. I'm a little snarky this morning. Been snarky for 34 years in this sports media, 11th year as a broadcaster. No matter where you are listening to this podcast, whether it's number 1 for you or number 302, I thank you for being a part of the Dattitude family. All kinds of stuff to get to this morning. I mean, we're not going to spend. I mean, it's like, remember the old Eddie Murphy skit? This ain't no curse show. We don't come on and say filth, floor, and filth. You know, beep, 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 beep for an hour and say, see you later. No. We don't say, Saints stink. They're going to stink again. See you later. Have a great Wednesday. We'll do it again tomorrow. No, we're not going to do that. We talk about a few other things, you know. We'll bring your spirits up. A little quick story I already told Gabe last night. The wife brings my daughter to, I think it was her second football game. I thought it was her first football game, but apparently she went to another one. I didn't know. She did not get the sports gene. Now the other one, the younger one, she may be more into sports, but my 13-year-old Ella does not care about sports. So it must be about a boy. There must be a boy she likes or something. I don't know what's going on in junior high. So she goes to the football game last night with a friend of hers, gets dropped off. Wife goes to pick her up and texts her, how much time's left in the game? And she says, how would I possibly know that? And my wife says, look up at the clock. Silence. Dead silence. So then my wife finally says, can you just take a picture of the clock and send it to me? Say, look, the life of a girl, Dad, it's not the same. I'm telling you, it is not the same. But it's fun nonetheless. Just like y'all are fun. You know how to talk to me if you haven't talked to me already. Be a part of the show. Type in your comment, whether you're watching on YouTube, which is where most of our Dattitude family lives, or if you're watching on Facebook, that's fine too. You can type it in. We'll show it on the screen. What is going on, Rocky? Beginning of the season, I said it was a mirage. Never doubt me. I don't know about that. Good morning, Randall. I'm sure we're going to have some good chatting later. Ray, don't start with that tanking stuff. We're going to have, I think we might have a whole show on the dumbness of tanking and how stupid tanking is. Where do you think tanking gets you? Oh, get you a better draft pick. To do what with? You got to be sure that your team's going to do the right thing with it. All tanking does is make you more miserable as the season goes along. I don't care if my team's 3-9. I'd rather see them win and go 4-9 on that given Sunday. It does nothing. Tanking does nothing. Nothing. DA sucks worse than my dream. Man, y'all on a roll. Jerry's here this morning. I know, Jerry, you can find, I know even though you say Dennis Allen's a clown, okay? When I need some positivity in my life on this show, I know some kind of way Jerry's going to provide it. Do I really want to compare teams, UBN? Sure. Your team sucks too. Hate to tell you. Your team's going nowhere, pal. You can talk about it tomorrow if you want. 49ers suck too. Tanking does not do anything for draft picks, okay? Because you don't know what you're going to do with them. This isn't a great quarterback. Tanking never does anything, and the coach helps get the coaching staff fired. They're going to fire the coaching staff if they want to. It doesn't matter if they go 2-15 or 8-9. When they decide to fire the coaching staff, I hate to say it, but they probably already know whether they are or not. It doesn't make a difference whether they win or lose the rest of the way. I think they already know what they're going to do. It may be they're going to fire them. It may be they're not. Losing does nothing except make you more miserable. Rooting for your team to lose might be the dumbest thing I've ever heard of in my entire life, except for maybe wishing to die or wanting someone else to die, not you. Wanting someone else to die may be dumber. Other than that, the only other dumb thing I can think of is rooting for your team to lose. Courtney asked a question we've been asking for a long time. Why didn't the Saints prepare for life after Breeze? You know, the only answer I can come up with for that is sometimes you just think that it's never going to end, right? You live in this life and you see it's the same reason why I think Breeze stayed. Look, this isn't blasphemy. I'm just telling you the way that I think that it is. It's the same reason why Breeze probably stayed on at least a year, probably 2 years too long. Because you can't see. It's been such a part of your life. It has been your life, not just a part of your life. It has been your life for such a long period of time. You can't fathom life without it. Had Breeze fathomed life without the Saints 2 years before, Tom Brady would have been here. The Saints would have won at least one more Super Bowl, maybe two. And maybe things would be different right now. I don't know. Jerry says he's just keeping 100%, 100. You keeping it real. I get you. Nathaniel Sherman. Good morning. Do I still think Carr is better than Winston? Absolutely. You can admit you were wrong about Rattler. Oh, we're going to get into Spencer Rattler. I got some numbers for you when it comes to Spencer Rattler later. Do I think Carr is better than Winston? Look, I don't think there's been anyone in sports media that's defending Jameis Winston more than I have. But at no point was Jameis Winston, was he then or is he now better than Derek Carr? Absolutely. Are you kidding? That's crazy. That's crazy talk. Okay, what else do we want to talk about? Larry Holder's coming on the show in a little bit. We love when Larry Holder comes on the show. Speaking of keeping it real, Larry keeps it real, man. He just like, that's why, you know, we kind of don't always agree on things, but I tell you what, it's fun to have him on the show because he tells it. I love people tell it the way that it is. Now, I don't always, I love Every guest that's been on this show, maybe not every guest, but almost every guest that's ever been on the show, love them. And I appreciate what they do for me. But they don't always keep it real. My favorite ones are the ones that keep it real. Larry Holder, Mike Detillier, they keep it real. Just saying. Before we get on more on the Saints stuff, did y'all catch what happened to Yankee Stadium last night? I mean, not just that the Yankees won and they kept the series alive, and it's 3-1, and the Dodgers will close it out either tonight or Friday night back at home. What difference does it make? The series is over. You're right, Kendall. I keep trying to tell them they don't want to listen. Darkhorse not a bad quarterback. They don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear that. But the thing about the game yesterday, and if you didn't see this and you don't care anything about baseball, it's worth finding, okay? Go find it. You can find it anywhere on social media. And I almost brought a clip to it. I'm like, nah, we'll leave it alone. But there's a clip of, I have never, in all my years of watching baseball, and that goes back to when I was a little kid, because my grandpa absolutely adored baseball. He played semi-pro ball. And so I watched more baseball growing up probably than I did football even. But I saw something last night that I've never seen. Now, being a Cubs fan, most of you probably know who Steve Bartman is. God, I can't believe I just mentioned that name on, there you go. I can't even believe I just mentioned that name on the show here. But if you think back to Steve Bartman and the Cubs back in what, I don't know, 2004, 2003, 2004, somewhere around there. When Bartman reached out and theoretically stole a ball out of Moises Alou's glove, and everything changed after that. I don't care about Alex Gonzalez, BS, blah, 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 blah. If Bartman doesn't touch the ball, the Cubs win the NLCS and they go to the World Series. There's zero doubt in my mind. And I mean 0.0%. I'm not leaving Bartman alone. Piss on Bartman. I have not forgiven him yet. It's 20 years ago. If he doesn't touch the ball, the Cubs go to the World Series. Now, whether they win the World Series, I don't know. I mean, the Marlins ended up going to the World Series and winning the World Series. But I don't know. Now, what I saw last night was worse. And again, you have to go find it. Someone actually, so Mookie Betts goes to catch foul ball, and he's not even over the line. He's definitely on his side. At first, I thought he reached into the crowd, which maybe would make it excusable, but then I saw how bad it wasn't. Even then, it wouldn't have been excusable. But a fan not only reaches to grab the ball in Mookie's glove, but he actually grabs Mookie's wrist with one hand, tries to knock the ball, and Mookie's not letting the ball go. He's got it. It's an out. The other fan, the fan next to him, grabs his arm, and then the fan finally scoops the ball and knocks it out. I have never seen anything like that in my entire life. I'm not from Chicago. David, I've been to Chicago as many times as I've been to Biloxi, Mississippi. A lot. What happened last night was way worse. It wasn't way worse in the grand scheme of things. It was way worse as far as intent goes. Bartman never had any intent. He just touched the ball, and he's a moron, and he ruined the Cubs World Series chances. He didn't know it at the time, but I knew. I said it's over. I literally said, even though the Cubs were up in the game and up in the series, it's over. And my friend who the late great Mike Delsa saying, he goes, dude, what are you talking about? It's not that bad. I'm like, no, it's over. Tell you right now, it's over. They're gonna lose this game and they're gonna lose tomorrow night. Just saying. But what happened last night? I mean, the Dodgers are still going to win the series. It didn't even have an impact on the game. But for a fan to actually reach into the glove and rip, the guy should never be allowed to go to a game again. UBN, he tried stealing his glove. I don't think he was trying to. He's just an idiot. Jerry's from Gulfport, see? I mean, I've been to Gulfport plenty, Jerry, many times in my life. Probably, I don't know. I can't even guess. If times I've actually been to Gulfport, not driven through on my way to Alabama, Florida, or Georgia, or wherever else, but actually like stayed in Gulfport, I've probably spent more nights of my life in Chicago than Gulfport or Biloxi. Just guessing. But telling you got to go see it. You got to go see it. I've never seen anything like it. Courtney was WTF, absolutely. Good morning, John. It's not hyperbole. I'm telling you. I have been to Chicago more than I've been to I have spent more nights in Chicago, Illinois than I've spent in Biloxi. There's zero doubt in my mind. Zero doubt. Anyway, moving on. Before we get, because I want Gabe to come on. It's going to be, we got Wednesdays with Gabe. I don't really know what Gabe's going to say. I think he might talk a little bit about that. We're going to talk about passer ratings coming up. That's interesting. But real quickly, and I'm not going to waste a lot of time because they don't deserve time wasted on Pelicans. Did y'all see any of it last night? I mean, I'm kind of glad. I got to be honest. All right, so where I live, I can't get the Pels on the antenna. My antenna won't get Channel 7 or whatever it is. So I have to buy the I showed y'all last week how to do it if you want to get on and you want to buy. I don't even know if I'm going to buy it. I got to be honest. I probably will break down and do it, but they were on TNT last night. Pelicans led 34-14 in the first quarter. A 20-point lead. What did they do the rest of the way? They were outscored by 18 points. How do you get outscored by, 38 points? What am I thinking? They lost by 18. They got outscored by 38 points the rest of the way. And Steph Curry didn't play. What the hell is going on? You lose in Portland on Sunday by 20 whatever? Come on, Donata. Are you serious? Ingram and Zion played well. Loss, or was a loss, but it wasn't all bad. I'm sorry, I don't find moral victories and stuff. Not very often anyway. And there certainly ain't a moral victory in something when nobody's playing all that well when you blow a 20-point lead and lose by 18. Just saying. By the way, as we go on with the show here, if you watch it on Facebook, I love you. Thank you for watching wherever you're watching. But go subscribe to the YouTube page if you get a second. It doesn't have to be right now, after the show's over. And if you're watching on YouTube, if you're part of the family, give us a like. You can always find out when we go in the air live, which is every weekday, Monday through Friday, except Tuesday. We take Tuesday off because we work most weekends, so we got to take some day off. I end up working on Tuesday anyway. I don't know why we don't do a show. But, yeah, go find us on YouTube. Be a part of the family over there. There was something else I want. Ulysses Doug, statement about Winston. With the Saints, he played hurt a big percent of the time. I don't know if that's necessarily true. I think Carr played hurt more than Winston did. Did have enough time to develop with the Saints, and he will ball out and beat the Saints. That's true. I think I've been talking about that for a little while now. Ulysses. I think that Mr. Winston's got something for the Saints. That's going to be an interesting game for sure. Donata, okay. It looked. Zion missed a couple. What I was bothered by Zion. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm glad that he was back and obviously over the virus or whatever it was. I don't like that he missed some close-in shots. Anyway, I'm not blaming it on Zion. I'm not blaming it on BI. Something's missing. Something's missing with this team. And I know it's only, what are we, 4 games in? 2-2? Something's missing. And as far as pronouncing your name right, look, I'll tell you, when you're in the play-by-play business, which is my side gig, if you don't pronounce names right, you get in a lot of trouble real quick. Randall says that Steve Kerr coached circles around Green last night. There's no doubt about that. Poor Willie. I'm not sure about Willie. And I love me some Willie, by the way. At least he seems to. And look, it's early. I'm not getting on him about this year yet, but he has not performed yet to that level that he did his rookie season. Just saying. So, also this week, LSU on a bye. It's a weird college week, especially for us here. LSU is on a bye next week. The big game against Alabama. Will LSU remain in contention to play for in the playoff? We'll see. Playoffs. They got a shot. They got to beat Bama. They got to win out, really. Can they do it? We'll see. If they do win out, I'm going to say this. If they win out, it's almost a good thing that they lost to Texas A&M, and I'm going to tell you why. If they win out, they avoid the SEC championship game, and I got to be honest, I don't like who would they play in the SEC championship game? Either Texas A&M. Well, they wouldn't have played Texas A&M if they would have beat them. It'd probably be Texas, right? Pels don't match up with Pels. LSU does not match up well with Texas. They do not want to play Texas. Texas would kill them. Just saying. Kill them. So, in the grand scheme of things, in the long run, again, one way or the other, LSU had to win 10 games to get in the playoffs. Okay? So, you don't want to give up that small little leash you got. You don't want to be able to say, okay, if you beat Texas A&M, okay, now you can lose to Alabama. All right, well, you didn't beat Texas A&M, so now you have to beat Alabama. Just saying, however you get to 10 wins, it really doesn't matter as long as you do it. They had to go 2-1 against Ole Miss, Texas A&M, Alabama. They're 1-1. They got a chance to do it. They got a bye week. Alabama, wisely as they do every year, takes their bye week before LSU. So they'll both be ready to go. Alabama, I honestly think LSU is better than Alabama. We'll get to it later on, and I think that Alabama is a slight favorite, if I remember correctly. Yeah, Gabe shaking his head yes, but it's not by a lot. We'll get to that later on. All right, before we get to the rest of the show, it's going to be mostly Saints the rest of the show, if not all Saints. Might touch on Tulane before I bring Gabe on, but before we get to Gabe and Larry, let me tell you more about our friends at Evangeline Securities. Now, let's say the day-to-day grind of your business has made it to where you're ready to ponder what might be next for you and your family. Sort of like Miss Gail might be thinking about right now. You're thinking maybe it's time to at least inquire about what you might want to do to move on to the next chapter of your life. If this is you or someone near and dear to your heart, then you'll want to get in touch with Nick Braden and Ron Hemelt over at Evangeline Securities. They'll start off by answering the most important question of all. What is your business worth? They do that with a complimentary valuation. And then, and only then, if you decide to proceed, Nick and Ron can go step by step with you to help you go forward. They came home from New York to help the people they love most, the people here that they grew up with in Southeast Louisiana. More on this later in the show. But in the meantime, if you're even pondering, if you're even thinking about it, check them out at www.evangelinesecurities.com. All right, we're going to bring in Gabe because I know Larry's going to be coming on very shortly. Interesting this morning, Gabe. I didn't even talk about Tulane. I didn't even realize that they're playing tomorrow. I'm like, okay, well, we haven't mentioned Tulane. Well, they're playing Charlotte. They're a 16-point favorite. Do we even really care? If they lose that game, we certainly won't care.
Why do we care anyway?
We're supposed to.
No, I know, but it's not like Tulane's a playoff team.
Playoffs? No, they're not. But
let's just touch on.
They could get into a pretty decent bowl. We'll see. They went out.
They could, but what bowls are really going to be decent now with the playoffs?
I don't know. You got a point.
But
I don't know.
Can we just talk about the guy the other day who said Tulane would wipe the floor with LSU?
Yeah, that was I was trying to be nice to that guy. I started off with saying there was somebody on X that kind of Gabe and I kind of got into it with. I'm sure he's not watching the show, but he said Tulane would. Did he say wipe the floor?
Something like that.
He said Tulane would beat LSU. Okay. Anyone that look, I know LSU's not having a good season. I know Tulane's done some things in the past and I'm not trying to be mean to Tulane at all. I like what Tulane's doing in the world where Tulane lives now is certainly a way better world than Tulane lived for 25 years, except for one season. Go back 6-7 years. Okay. Tulane is in a much better place than they've ever been, especially football wise. But if you think realistically that Tulane would beat LSU, then you probably need to be feeding the pigeons on Saturdays. Just saying.
Yeah, Tulane lost by double digits to Oklahoma. An Oklahoma
Yeah.
team who has no offense. They let them put up 34
really,
points, I believe.
Yeah. Oklahoma doesn't have much of a chance.
That's crazy.
Look, I love Tulane too. And it's funny because I used to growing up when LSU and Tulane played each other every year, and I wish they would now, and that's LSU's fault. There's no doubt about that.
Yep.
But growing up, they played each other. The last game of the year, they played each other. And I missed that. And I wish they would go back to it. And I used to really dislike Tulane because they played each other. And my Tulane friends would give me so much grief if they lost. And, we played Tulane when I was in the band at LSU, and it was fun, blah, blah, blah. But it's not the same now. Now that they don't play, I actually root for Tulane now. And not just because I'm in this business and I'm supposed to be as neutral as possible, but when we talk about Tulane, but when they're playing Charlotte on a Thursday night, I just can't get that fired up about it. Sorry. So that's where I are with Tulane. I know we're gonna talk about it, and we're gonna get to passer ratings in just a minute.
Mm-hmm.
But I found it interesting that when I was looking at passer ratings, Derek Carr just qualifies. He is 9th in passer rating. Our boy Spencer Rattler, what do we think he is?
Well, I know where he is because
he actually qualifies. There's 35 passers that qualify in passer rating. And if you're out there, and I told Gabe, I also told UBN, so UBN knows as well. But if you had to guess, where do you think Spencer Rattler would be? He is 32nd. You're wrong, UBN. You can't even remember. I just sent it to you a little while ago. You didn't remember. He is above 2 Titans.
Yep.
He is above Bryce Young, and he's above the guy that's too tired to play quarterback. That's Anthony Richardson.
Before we dive too deep into that, because the topic that I had today, if Larry's in the green room, I would be interested to get his thoughts on my question. Did you see
Is he in the green room? And I'm saying
no, he's not. I'm saying if he is later, when I bring up my question, I'd be interested to get his thoughts. Before I do that, I just want to circle back to that Yankees fan.
Yeah.
Did you see his quote afterwards?
Oh yeah, he was D'ing up.
Yeah, he said if it's our arena, we got to D up.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me, dude?
Yeah. Well,
this is why.
Hopefully he'll D up never again in Yankee Stadium, because
this is my most controversial sports take. Probably, I've got a lot of them. Malice at the Palace was a good thing. Okay. Horrible look for the NBA, but it's a good thing because every so often, and we saw this right after COVID as well. I don't know if you remember, Anthony Rendon got into it with some fans, I believe, in Oakland.
Not really.
Fans don't know how to act. I was
like, fans weren't going to baseball games then.
No, it was after COVID.
Oh, okay.
After COVID, I believe one of them was swearing at Anthony Rendon and he was sitting in the front row swearing at Rendon in the dugout and just calling him a bunch of names, and I believe even maybe threw something at him. I'm not sure, but every so often, fans forget how to act at games. They think they're entitled because they spent money, they get to do whatever they want, and they often treat these players like zoo animals. They're not your dance monkeys. They are human beings. Just because they get paid a lot of money doesn't mean you can act however you want to them. If someone hold on.
I will say this. If someone wants to pay me something like they're getting paid and they want me to be a dance monkey, I will absolutely put the costume on and I'll dance till tomorrow. I'm just saying, I am a dance monkey for hire. Go ahead.
You made me lose my train of thought. Oh, I was going to say, so if somebody in the street pulled the crap that fan tried to pull with Mookie Betts yesterday, he'd get his ass kicked.
Could you imagine a kid walking down the street with a ball in his glove and somebody tried to rip it out of his hands? What the fans would probably do to that dude?
I mean, it's unbelievable that fans believe that they can act that way just because they pay. And then not only that, this dude, someone looked it up yesterday. Those seats that he was sitting in were worth about $2,000. Congratulations, ass clown! You got to watch 2 innings of baseball.
I was gonna say, was it the second or third inning? I know it was early. Yeah. I know it was early. UBN says. UBN says, how much to get me to be a dance monkey? $5,000. $5,000. I'll dance like I'll put on a suit. I'll buy the suit and put it on.
Would you be a dance monkey for another sponsor on the show?
If a sponsor, that's a good question. If a sponsor wants him to be a dance
Someone else wants to sponsor the show, Jim will dress up and be a dance
John's got $50. All you need is 100 more people with $50, and you're in. I'll dance monkey. We'll have a dance monkey episode.
So,
I bet for 10 grand, $5,000 for me, $5,000 for Larry Holder. He would $5,000. He would dance. I'll ask him when it comes on. I absolutely. There's no doubt in my mind for $5,000 he would dance up like a monkey, dress up like a monkey.
I'm more concerned with the people who wouldn't.
Me too. All right, what you got from? We got to get Larry on.
So just you're mentioning the QBR, and I saw an interesting tweet yesterday, and it got me thinking. So this is let me see. It's at the block spot. Sam Block tweeted yesterday. Anthony Richardson is 22, benched. Bryce Young 23, benched. Trey Lance 24, benched. So on and so forth. It goes on. Justin Fields, Will Levis, Zach Wilson, Mac Jones, Kenny Pickett. All of those guys are first-round picks, except for one, and that was Will Levis. Everyone thought he was going to go. But here's the thing.
The Saints should tank.
He ended that post with, the NFL has a quarterback development problem. So my question to you, I just wanted to get your thoughts on this, because and it's not, obviously every individual case is different. They're not the same. It's not a league-wide problem with every single one per se. And then there's young success stories like Jaden Daniels, CJ Stroud. Do you think it is a quarterback development problem? No. Or do you believe it is a quarterback talent identification problem? So just get your thoughts quickly, and then I'll share mine.
I know I'm in the minority, but I think it's kind of like going on a date with somebody. You know, within 2 dates, if this person is going to be a possibility to be in your life for a long time, you know, within 2 games, and I'm not saying they have to win or they have to have great numbers. You can watch the eye test. I think that you can know within 2 games whether quarterback has a future for your team / in the NFL. And they don't even have to play great. You can just see it. And so that's my opinion on a quarterback. So, I mean,
we were doing the show and we were working together when Will Levis was drafted. You know my thoughts on him. There was not a single. And I'm no NFL scout or NFL guru. I'm a dude who sits on my couch and watches Red Zone every Sunday and watches college football. There is not a single second where I looked at Will Levis in college and thought, you know what, that guy should be playing on Sunday.
Me neither.
Not a single second.
Same for Anthony Richardson.
Well, the thing about Anthony Richardson, and this is where I think the Colts are really screwing up, they drafted him knowing he was going to be a project.
Yeah.
They gave him, 10 games?
Maybe.
He started something around 10 games or maybe a little more.
But I think he even got hurt. I don't know. But look,
he did. He got hurt last year.
We will, I promise, we can get back to this. I actually want to talk more about this. We can talk about this tomorrow, but Larry has got to be in and out by noon. So got to run to him. But save this because let's bring this up again tomorrow.
Yeah, of course.
I think it's a great topic to talk about. We can spend 5 minutes on it tomorrow, and I'm looking forward.
Yep, I've got some more thoughts on it tomorrow. So
all right,
definitely.
Gabe Henderson, everybody. And with that, I want to ask Larry for if we got $5,000 together, would you dress up like a monkey and dance on the show with me? Like I did it too. Like we both did it. Like I got $5,000, you got $5,000. Would you do it? I'm not saying it's
every day. I would do it every.
I told you. I knew you would. I knew you. You shaved your head for Christ's sake for free. I knew that you would dress up like a monkey and dance.
No, I wasn't for free. I lost a bet, and so I had.
Well, I know, but still,
I had to repay. But I would do that every day. But whoa, y'all, man, y'all can't let that quarterback topic just slide and let me not.
Oh God, no. Go
interject on that.
Go ahead, please. By all means.
You said you would know by how long?
2 games.
Quarterback. 2 games.
2 games. I'm not saying that I can tell you that this person is going to be a star, because I would need more times to tell. I would need more than 2 games to tell you whether this guy is going to be a really good quarterback. But I can tell you in 2 games that somebody's never going to be a quarterback. I don't know that I've ever been wrong on that. I'm just saying. Go ahead.
When did Drew Brees get benched? Year 2, he got benched.
2001. So 2002. 2001, 2002,
he got benched.
Somewhere.
He was benched in the NFL for Doug Flutie, and at this point in time, he would be done. because of the way people treat quarterbacks a lot.
I don't know about that though.
That was a different era. You were given a lot more time as a coach. You were given more time as a quarterback.
Maybe.
Your society wasn't as reactionary. You didn't have social media. You didn't have you had the internet, but you didn't have social media.
Well, how many games do you think you need to see though? Like, take a guy. Okay, so I was joking about Spencer Rattler being not joking. I mean, it's a fact. I mean, he has enough passes to qualify in passer rating, and he is 32nd. He is below. Let's see. Hold on. He is below Deshaun Watson, and he's above Will Levis, Mason Rudolph, Bryce Young, and Anthony Richardson. Those are the only quarterbacks that he's above who have qualified. Okay, so, and I'm not even necessarily talking about Spencer Rattler. How many games do you think you need to see from a quarterback to know? You don't need to know he's going to be a star or even that he's viable. How many games do you need to know this guy can't play? Realistically.
You can't put a that's it. You can't.
You think a season, a whole season? If you saw a whole season,
I would probably need a season. I can't say 4 games.
I think you're wasting time.
Because guess what? Sam Darnold, everyone was done with him. Bum. Well, he certainly won a few games this year. He's
won a few games, and he's going to turn back into the pumpkin that he is, as he's already starting to. Actually, Sam Darnold can play stretch, and he's always been able to do this. That's not, except in the very beginning, it's always been Sam Darnold's problem that he has been able to play in stretches for a decent. He's played decent for. My son loves to get. My son loves Sam Darnold. By the way, the same son who loves Spencer Rattler. Not that we're getting off on a tangent because we are, but Sam Darnold, whenever he plays great, I'm getting text. See, I told you Sam Darnold, and then he'll go like 6-7 games of absolutely stinking up the joint. I'm like, what about Sam Darnold? Oh well, blah 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 blah. I mean,
I think my point is that it's rare that a quarterback gets another chance to prove that he could play.
I hear you.
Just like Geno Smith. I mean, people were long done.
You're right about that. You're
long done with him.
Geno Smith is a good example because I was actually I thought Geno Smith, and I mean, he's certainly at least at the bare minimum a viable quarterback.
And here's another player that Gabe brought up, and I know it wasn't his comment, but it was a comment from someone else. Someone like Trey Lance. Like, I still don't know if he's actually a bust or not, but the fact circumstances,
I actually think Trey Lance could be a good quarterback.
Circumstances made that what it is. He gets hurt, and then you move on. I mean, it's basically Trent Green moving on to Kurt Warner. Same thing. Trent Green went on to be a viable NFL quarterback.
Trey Lance is an interesting name. I mean, if the Saints were like looking for someone on the cheap at some point, I mean, I'd rather see them give Trey Lance a shot than Spencer Rattler a shot. Just me.
Big time. I would way rather see that.
Trey Lance, I think, is actually, that's a perfect example of, you're right. He never got a real chance. I mean, the first game he ever played was in the muck and the mud, Chicago, and they lost to the Bears. And like, how in the hell are the 49ers losing to the Bears? And then he got hurt, like you said, and he never really got a real shot after that.
He never got a shot after that. Jimmy Garoppolo comes in, then he gets hurt, then it's Brock Purdy, and then it's done.
Yeah, that's a really good point. That's one to put in the memory bank. Maybe we talk about Trey Lance again at some point. All right, speaking of quarterbacks, let's get into the Saints here. And Derek Carr looks like he's coming back. Does it make any difference?
Yes.
I don't mean does it make a difference on whether they can win or not. Obviously, it makes a difference because they're 7-point favorites, even if it is the Panthers. But does it make a difference as far as the season goes?
Yes, I think it certainly does.
I agree with you, but how so?
Because all we need to do is look at the schedule, and it's not like the Saints. If they have capable quarterback play and the defense responds accordingly, saying, all right, we're not out here busting our tails for now we'll actually put in some more effort since our offense can actually score points.
Yeah.
That you can go and win a bunch of these games because it's not like their schedule is as daunting as it was to start. I mean, even with Derek Carr, you and me were talking, all right, 3-3. You'd be happy probably leaving there, but now obviously the wheels have fallen off. They're 2-5, but still, It's 2-6, exactly 2-6. But look, can they go out and win games? Yeah. Could it be too little, too late? Yes. I mean, but it's not like they're you're going into every game thinking, man, how bad are you going to get beat?
Right.
It's more of a, all right, this game is winnable. Unwinnable how?
Timothy Miller says, if we could stay healthy with Carr, we can win 8 more games this season. Woo! Man, I want to smoke from the positivity pipe that you smoking from, my friend.
There's only 9 left. So, man, that would be a good run.
That would be one hell of a run. You look what's coming up after the Panthers. Get the Falcons and the Browns. I guarantee you that Dome's going to have more Falcons fans in it. And then you're going to have a fired up Jameis Winston. So I don't know about that. We'll see. But I will say this. And, I hate this, but there's no doubt. I think the Saints are going to play with an inspired effort on Sunday because Derek Carr is back. And why do you need to have Derek Carr in there to play? Why don't you bust your ass for Spencer Rattler and Jake Haener? Why do you need Derek Carr to find out, this team cares? I mean, I don't get it.
Because neither one of those guys are capable of
but still, I mean, you're getting paid to care. I mean, you're 2-4 and 2-5 and 2-6. I mean, at what point do you figure out you need to have pride in yourself?
Well, once the paychecks start drying up, maybe then you have a little. You gotta find some pride back. It's human nature. It happens all the time. Like in the league, like you play hard enough and it doesn't pay off, and so then you start to cut corners, and that happens in multiple phases of life, and it happens in football too. So there you go. And so yeah, your leader's back, someone who's capable of guiding the company in a better direction. You have someone who's capable of guiding the offense in a better direction. Now there's a ceiling to that guidance, but it's a different atmosphere. And I do think players in that locker room remember the last time they had a healthy Derek Carr, they were actually moving the ball pretty well outside of which game was it? The Eagles game?
Well, I mean, the Falcons game, really, they didn't allow any touchdowns, but the Saints actually scored points. Both the Eagles game and the Falcons game, the Saints scored the potential go-ahead touchdown in the final 2 minutes of the game and then allowed the opponent to come back and score on them. So, I mean, in theory, Derek Carr should have been 4-0. He wasn't. He was 2-2, but he should have been 4-0. So, and then they just lost the Kansas City game because they weren't good enough. But look, not to go back, I don't want to talk about this, but I do want to bring up the points that Gabe makes. To be fair, Peyton Manning led the league in interceptions his rookie year. Yeah, but this is what I'm talking about. It's not about numbers. It's about what you see. Everyone could see that Peyton Manning was going to be a stud in the NFL. I think everyone knew that. And then also some news. Shane Steichen clarified that Joe Flacco is not only the quarterback this week, but he is the quarterback going forward. Richardson is benched indefinitely. And if you haven't seen it, Richardson said he was really tired. He had to come out of the game. Boo-hoo. I can't believe that a professional quarterback actually said that. And when I wasn't joking a couple of weeks ago when I said I would rather have Spencer Rattler than Anthony Richardson, and Gabe shook his head vehemently. And I'm telling you, I'm dead serious. I would rather have Spencer Rattler than Anthony Richardson, but that's a whole different story.
Well, to me, you can't, it is extremely hard to fix accuracy problems.
Agreed.
And Anthony Richardson has forever been
50%.
inaccurate. That's the way it's always been. The one quarterback I could tell you that there are two quarterbacks that I can point to that have improved in the pros with accuracy, and now are two of the top guys that you would want on your team are Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. Yep. Both guys have improved
immensely,
taken big strides in their accuracy, but that is rare. That is a rare thing to happen.
Yeah, Lamar Jackson actually is number 1 in the NFL right now in quarterback rating, which is quite a feat. It really is. All right, I want to go on to another piece of the Saints. Some things that bother me. I mean, besides the obvious would bother me. But I was listening to, I like to put pieces of press conferences in this show and then kind of comment on them. So I went back and watched Dennis Allen's press conference from Monday, kind of after the fact, maybe some things that, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And I listened to the first 2 minutes. I'm like, I can't even listen to this anymore. So he spent the first 2 minutes of his press conference about the positive things that the Saints did on Sunday. Now, I'm not saying he needs to go out and blast his team, okay? But here's my biggest problem with Dennis Allen, okay? Nice guys don't make it, very rarely. I can't say never. But you think about the great coaches in the NFL, they're assholes, okay? I mean, Sean Payton, one of the biggest jerks that ever walked the planet. Let's be real. I mean, he softened a little bit in his older age, but you can't. I don't want to hear all this positive crap about a team that's lost 6 games in a row. Don't start your press conference with that. Oh, I thought we were better against the run, except for the 38. He literally said this, except for the 38-yard run that we gave up to Justin Herbert.
That sounds like something that would come exactly out of Jim Haslett's mouth.
It kind of does. I mean, who says this crap? Does it bother you as much as it bothers me?
There's nothing that Dennis could say to soothe anything, and there's nothing that Dennis can say to really instill confidence publicly that this will change.
Yeah.
So there's nothing. Like, he could come out and blast anyone. He could come out and give them sunshine and roses, and none of it. It's just noise. It's just
it's just noise.
It's just noise that really does not resonate. And
it doesn't instill confidence in anyone either. I mean, if you're and you and I have both been in these press conferences. If I'm sitting there among the press conference, I mean, I know what I was doing. I'm like yelling at my computer. I mean, so if I'd be rolling my eyes and looking. I mean, he probably would have seen me rolling my eyes. I'm like, you're really going to start a press conference? Well, we had some positive things happen. You're 2-6. You suck. I want you to tell me that you suck and we're going to fix it. That's not what he says. I mean, it's mind-boggling. And then what's even worse than that, and Brian Cavett put a comment in here that I'll show because this leads into my next comment. From Loomis's comments on WWL, they are sticking with DA, kicking the can all around because of bad Loomis's ego. That doesn't look. He's not going to tell you that he's going to fire Dennis Allen. If he's going to fire Dennis Allen, he just fire him. He's not going to tell you. But here's the problem I had with his press conference that reading some quotes from it. He's talking about the careers of different players and how the first 4 years maybe they weren't great, and then the next 4 years they were really good, like Cam Jordan and Demario Davis. And so then he starts like going into Paulson Adebo, Brian Bresee, Taliesin Fuaga, Kool-Aid McKinstry. I mean, nobody thinks those guys are not good. So, I mean, I don't even know why he's talking about them. Chris Olave is on that path. Well, no duh. But then he's got to bring in Spencer Rattler and Chase Young. I mean, how much more do we need to know Chase Young is just collecting a paycheck? Some of these other guys that he's talking about. So if you go through this quote and then he talks about, like I said, Dennis Allen, basically that we're not giving up on Dennis Allen. I wonder what planet Mickey Loomis. I've defended Mickey Loomis for years and years, but I'm starting to wonder what planet he's living. Why do we have to defend everyone? Why can't we just say, you know what? So-and-so's not living up to the potential that we thought they would live up to, and we hope it gets better. And if it doesn't, we may have to make a move. What is wrong with saying something like that? Why do we have to keep saying so-and-so is better than maybe you think he is? No, he's not. We've been watching.
Well, you're trying to instill some sort of positivity to keep people coming to the stadium. I mean, that's one thing. I mean, really, that's really it, because the record is what it is. We all see if you would continue to have the same product with the same quarterback, the results were never going to change. So, look, your quarterback's coming back. There's a reason why they're a touchdown favorite on the road. So you want to keep people coming back into the building. But look, I don't understand the point of saying and rattling off resumes about Cam Jordan and Demario Davis. So what? Like,
exactly.
Like, none of that matters.
It doesn't.
But then saying, well, these players could be good. Well, they don't help you now, and the last 4 years have been, it's been just almost a wasteland of mediocrity. So it hasn't been good enough for you to make wholesale changes, and it's been good enough to think, oh, well, you're going to get better, and none of it has.
I know we got some comments in the queue about these things, and Larry's on a short time frame. He's going to be on for about another 8 or 10 minutes. I promise you, when Larry is gone, we're going to get back to this stuff because I want to talk about it with the Dattitude family here. I'll get back to some of these comments. I promise I will show more comments in just about 10 minutes, but I do want to ask Larry about this game in particular and get his thoughts. Douglas, good morning. Great man. You don't know me very well. Thank you very much, my friend. I appreciate that. All right, Saints-Panthers. If you're just listening to the podcast, you can't see on the screen. As we do each week, we put where the NFL rankings are for each of these teams, and frankly, they show exactly what the record shows. They're not very good. The Saints are 21st overall in offense. That's kind of misleading because of those first 2 games. I think it kind of goes down a little bit every week. The defense for the 3rd straight week is worst in the NFL. The good news is the Panthers defensively are 2nd worst in the NFL, and offensively, they are 4th worst in the NFL. Boy, this is a matchup of 2 really good teams, isn't it?
I've got some even worse nuggets for you.
Okay, go ahead.
I could say that in some of the metrics that I like to look at, it's EPA per play. It's the Saints offense this year through the weeks 1 through 8.
And by the way, so people don't know, EPA is expected points added, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
It's the 3rd worst offense through 8 weeks in the last 25 years.
Yikes.
And in weeks from weeks 5 through 8, they rank 31st in EPA per dropback. Of course, that's a quarterback. They're the worst in 3rd down conversions. They're the worst in EPA per play. They are the worst in first downs per drive. They've allowed the 2nd most sacks. They're the worst in time of possession per drive.
Pretty bad.
That's it. Well, hey, okay. Let's go to the other side at least, okay?
All right.
Through 8 weeks for the Panthers, their defense, they are the worst defense in the last 25
Which
years.
Just 2 years ago, they were a top 5 defense. 2 years ago.
They were the worst. They are the worst defense in the league. And they're the worst in franchise in the last 25 years in EPA per play, EPA per drive, and defensive points allowed. Again, this is through weeks 1 through 8. So if there's a plus for the Saints, your offense is getting stronger, and the Carolina Panthers defense still stinks. So maybe there's hope for a week.
What you're saying is
3.
they got a chance.
Oh, they got a good chance. Yes.
Hold
I'm
on.
bringing something here to the table.
Jesse, I want to ask you to stay on for at least 8 more minutes when Larry goes off the show. You are the first person I'm going to address because you, sir, have the most ridiculous comment of the week so far. And considering how many ridiculous comments this show gets on a daily basis, that's saying something. So stick around for 8 minutes. You and I can have a chat. All right. Soon the Saints might have negative EPA. Is that even possible? You can have negative EPA, can't you?
It is negative.
Oh, okay. It already is negative. Wow. That is so sad. Larry, you're bumming John Pace out.
How? I just said the Saints offense is getting better.
I told y'all earlier, Larry's not here Larry's the perfect guest for the show because, like me, we don't always necessarily agree, but Larry tells it the way that he thinks it is, just like I do.
The Saints
offense, not here to cheer you up.
That those numbers can improve. They were much higher than that when Derek Carr was around, but the last 4 weeks, obviously, it's gone in the tank. And the Panthers defense is going to stink. So that should be uplifting. Hip, hip, hooray. Larry Holder's here to save the day.
You've covered the NFL for a long time. Have you ever seen a team that's lost 6 games in a row go on the road and be a touchdown favorite?
That's impossible. It
really is, isn't it?
That just shows you how really, 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 really bad Carolina is at this state. And obviously they're selling parts. I mean, Deontay Johnson's off to the Ravens. And so they're definitely in the let's get what we can mode.
UBN says he would rather you be quarterback than Rattler.
At least I wouldn't throw picks.
Y'all both have really good hair. I will say that.
Dude, my passer rating might only be 39.6 because I throw every pass into the ground. It wouldn't be picked off.
Exactly. All right. Somebody, before I get your prediction, somebody asked me a question that I will pose to you and the audience, and we can ask this. If you had to bet, well, not bet or whatever, you put up $5,000, okay, which for you and I, that's a lot. That's a whole hell of a lot of money. But you put up $5,000 and you're inserted as the Saints starting quarterback. And if you throw for 30 yards, you get $1 million. If you don't, you lose your $5,000. Would you take the risk?
Yes, I could throw for 30 yards.
So let's just say you were playing the Steelers and TJ Watt hit you on the first play of the game. Do you think you'd be able to stay in the game and throw for 30 yards?
Dude, that's not the question. I'd have the fastest time to throw average on the planet. I would be throwing screens to everyone because all I would do is like a little jet sweep, like a little toss. And dude, and those I would know how to add up the easy, cheap 30 yards. That would be no problem.
Adam says, hell yeah. Does yak count? Of course it does.
Absolutely.
It counts in the NFL.
That's
Why
what
wouldn't
I'm
it count?
on.
Yeah, you just throw it to. I wouldn't do it. I mean,
I'd do it.
I might have done it 20 years ago, but at my age, if TJ Watt even like breathed on me, I'd either be dead or I'd be in the hospital for a long time. They'd be carting me out of there. I would never throw another pass.
I'm 44. I could still make it happen.
Yeah, if I were 44, I'd think about it. That was 12 years ago. I'd think about it, but
in my 50s, that might be tougher.
Breaking news, says Gabe Henderson. Major League Baseball has asked the Yankees to ban the two numbnuts who were ejected last night. Good for them. They should be ejected. All right. I'm not going to give my final prediction on the Saints until Friday, but I'm going to ask you to do it right here, right now, on October the 30th. It's the day before Halloween. Saints -7 over the Panthers. I know you don't care about point spreads, but give me a final score, Mr. Holder.
Let's go 27-17.
Wow.
Yes.
And I'm assuming
the
you think the
offense
Saints
comes
are gonna
back,
win.
defense wakes up. This team, the Carolina Panthers you think the Saints are in bad shape? Jeez, Louise. Not even they're nothing compared to the Carolina Panthers. 27-17 Saints.
Wow. Okay. I didn't expect. I thought you would pick the Saints to win, but I didn't think you would pick it by that big of a margin. So you expect the Saints to. Here, I would just say this. And from the betting perspective, and when I try to pick games again, I'm not giving a spoiler alert, but I mean, you can go read my pick if you want. I may change it before Friday. It's on bet.nola.com. But my power ratings have the Saints should be on the road to Carolina a 2-point favorite. So it makes no sense to me that this game is 7. That spread is absurd. But then again, I've been burned by Carolina a couple times in my picks. I wouldn't bet this game with your money. All right, I'm just saying. So
I'm not betting it with yours or mine. So there you
go. Douglas says the score will be -7 to -14. If you use expected points, whatever.
Expected points, no, that could go into negative. Real ones, they can only go as low as 0.
All right. Well, what are your plans for Halloween? Are you gonna dress up as Jeff Duncan, or are you gonna dress? Man, I forgot to get the picture. I meant to bring the picture of you dressed up as a clown. Forgot.
That was not a real one.
Oh, that was one we made up, but
yeah,
it was still you.
I've dressed up as crazier things. I mean, I've dressed up as I'm not doing it this year. I don't know what. I actually have no idea what I'm doing. Dressing up as everyone else does. I don't know. I mean, I've dressed up. I've gone to a Jersey Shore party dressed up as Jay Woe instead of Jay Wow.
I like it. You could dress up as
done many.
You could dress up as Dennis Allen, and they'd probably throw stuff at you. They throw candy at you.
I just throw on a visor and look close enough, right?
That's like any other day.
I don't wear too many visors anymore. I
wouldn't wear a visor with the hair like it is right now because you'd look kind of like what are those things? You know, the things where the hair is like straight up in the air and it's like
treasure trolls.
Yeah, like trolls. Yeah, exactly. I mean,
at least the hair is clean. It means it's clean. It's got some body.
Just dye it. Paint it, or you can be the heat miser.
I need to die. I got some grays. I'm looking over here.
All right. Good luck. Yeah. Well, wait till you get to my age, pal. I will see you next week. Happy Halloween. Enjoy the tennis tournament.
Yes. Next week should be regular, back to normal.
Regular Friday.
That should be back to normal. Yeah.
All
if
right.
it doesn't, I'll let you know, but it should be back to normal.
All right. Looking forward to it. See you then. Have a
There
good
you go,
weekend. All right. Bye. Larry Holder, everybody. Always a fun time. All right. Where you at? Where I got to go back and find it. All right. After this, Gabe, you can take over the comments, but we're going to. Carr is a bum, just like Allen. Nothing but excuses. When did he make When did Carr make an excuse about anything? He hasn't played for 3 weeks. What excuse did he make? Why do y'all can just keep on trashing on Carr? I don't get. Now he's going to be gone soon enough, and y'all can all have your way. And except it won't be Spencer Rattler, it'll be some other bum that y'all are high on. Derek Carr, this season, 9th in the NFL in passer rating. Who's ahead of him? Lamar Jackson, Jared Goff, Josh Allen, Sam Darnold, Joe Burrow, Baker Mayfield, Jaden Daniels, and Joe Flacco. Who's behind him? Jalen Hurts, Justin Herbert, Kyler Murray, Kirk Cousins, CJ Stroud. That's who's behind him. Jordan Love, Matthew Stafford. All those quarterbacks are behind him. You know, it's been kind of the only good thing about Derek Carr being injured the past, I don't know, what, he's been going for 3 weeks, is I haven't heard y'all blast Derek Carr lately. What is wrong with you? You people that keep blasting Derek Carr. What was this team? You know what's happened since Derek Carr's left? They've got blown away 3 games in a row. Embarrassed 3 games in a row. The last 9 quarters that Spencer Rattler played, they scored a total of 6 points. I don't hear y'all calling for Spencer Rattler anymore. Faye King, Spencer is not a bum. How dare you? And you should, that bum ain't. What are you talking about, Faye? Are you being serious, or you forgot to put the laughing emojis in there? Spencer Rattler is a bum. Bum. B-U-M. Bum. Hayner ain't much better. I mean, how many more times? I'm not a Hayner advocate. Hayner sucks too. They both suck. I mean, how many times do I need to tell you? What did I tell you before the season started? If Spencer Rattler and or Jake Hayner play multiple games in this season's over. How many times do I need to say it? What's going on? Was I right or was I wrong? Adam Varner, Rattler's diddly poo. Black Preacher Man, Carr this season is 2-3. It's a whole lot better than 0-3. Just saying. We got more to say. I got more to say. Y'all fired me up this morning. I mean, I wasn't really planning on talking a whole lot about this, but somebody throws the BS comment up there, you're going to get it back. I keep telling y'all, don't come here and just spew stuff that's dumb. Hold on. Take the net off real quick. I'm going to come right back to it. That's the next comment we're going to talk about. We asked you earlier if you or someone you love, not Jordan Love, you or someone you love is pondering selling the family-run or privately held business. You want to just kick back and, travel the country, go see NFL games in other cities where they know how to win. I don't know, whatever you want to do. We also told you that Evangeline can help you figure out the most important part and how much your business is worth. They do this through a complimentary valuation. Afterward, if you decide to proceed, only if you decide to proceed, Nick Braden and Ronnie Hemelt can guide you through the rest of the process, and they'll begin an extensive auction process. I'm going to read that 10 times fast. I don't know what my deal. I'm fumbling like, I don't know, like the rat. See, I started talking about Spencer Rattler, and I just start fumbling words all over the place. Nick and Ron will guide you through an extensive auction process among established private equity funds from around the world to maximize the return process for the founder and his or her family. Evangeline Securities is the top producer on their platform There are very few companies like them in this area. None with that dedication and success. None that keep it positive, brother. Like them. They're fully licensed. They're ready to serve you. So get in touch with Nick and Ron about what's really important. Not the Saints. The rest of your life. You can find them at www.evangelionsecurities.com. What we got, Gabe? Throw that comment back up there. Lemon Carr has not played enough games to show his true rating. Yes, you were screaming what you said. I mean, he's 9th. That's not bad. UBN says, how many people can watch football every Sunday and think Rattler or Hainer is better than Carr? My God, man. Barry says, I do not believe any quarterback in the league could save the Saints this season. Carr is the best option, but not good enough to save the season. Hope I'm wrong. I mean, when you're 2-6, it's hard to save a season. I mean, to have any realistic chance of saving a season, you go into the bye week. I mean, realistically, to have any chance at the playoffs, to have any chance at all, you got to go 7-2 down the stretch. Which means, in my opinion, you need the Falcons to lose, so you got to beat them. So if you win the next 3 and you're 5-6, maybe. I mean, the Falcons play the Cowboys this week, so they could lose. I don't know. UBN says if Rattler played half as good as people think he is this season, then the season wouldn't be dead. Amen. It's funny how when you say stuff people don't like, they just turn you off. Can't listen. Oh, he's talking bad about Spencer Rattler and he loves Derek Carr. First of all, I don't love Derek Carr. I just get tired of hearing people get off. I mean, just go off on him for no. It never made sense to me, ever. It never made sense to me. I mean, I guess the underlying theory is, and it's the same reason why people hated Jameis Winston, because Jameis was basically taking over for Drew Brees. I mean, they had other quarterbacks fill in here and there. And the fans at the time, they loved Taysom Hill just because Taysom Hill was part of the glory days. Not because Taysom Hill's a good quarterback. Taysom Hill was never going to be a quarterback for this team. But they hated Jameis because Jameis was going to take over for Drew Brees. And now, really, Derek Carr is the first real quarterback, the first full-time quarterback that this team has signed to replace Drew Brees. So, in essence, he's basically in the same shoes as Jameis Winston. And it's why people don't like him. And you can talk about his record or whatever. Dude can only do so much with an offensive line that sucks, okay? PFF, and PFF isn't the know-all, get-all, but PFF last year ranked the Saints' offensive line as the 5th worst in football. There's zero, and I mean zero question that the Saints' offensive line is the worst in football right now. I said that they would get Derek Carr hurt, and here we are going into week 9, and he's missed the last 3.5 games, which is nearly half of the season to date, because his offensive line got him killed in the metaphorical sense. Why do we keep just getting on him and getting on him? Now they're going to love Jameis. I mean, you can love Jameis now because he plays for somebody else. You need to be realistic. That's all I ask of people. And that's what this show is about. It's about realism, about being realistic on what, not just your team, just about everything. We talk about other things in the Saints, but you hate on things for no reason. Just like sometimes you grasp on to things. And I mean, I think the reason why you're grasping on to Spencer Rattler and hoping he was something, just saying he's great, having never seen him really play in the NFL and probably not really watch him in college because he wasn't that great in college. He was okay. He was fine. He was an average SEC quarterback. I mean, I think it's fair to say that Spencer Rattler was in the middle of the pack when you talk about SEC quarterbacks. And so what? There were, 14 teams in the SEC last year? So that makes him 7th or 8th and best in the in the SEC? Is the 7th or 8th best quarterback in the SEC going to be a starting quarterback in the NFL? I highly doubt it. It would be a rare, super rare thing. So that's what I've been saying this entire time and talking about tempering your enthusiasm. Could I be wrong? And I mean, Spencer Rattler could end up being something. Of course I could be wrong. But I'm saying, standing here or sitting here after I saw him play for 10 quarters or however many quarters it was, 10 quarters. That's enough for me to know that he's not going to be the quarterback of this team that's going to be the starting quarterback for this team on opening day in, let's say, 2027. Okay? Because I'm almost certain Carr will be the quarterback next year. Danetta says our O-line is not good. Carr is not good enough to play quarterback well with what he's got. We need a head coach and QB1. That's a fact. That's kind of where I'm getting at, too. I think Derek Carr is a good enough quarterback to make a good team really good. In other words, if Derek Carr were the quarterback of, UBN, the San Francisco 49ers of last year, then I think that they still could have gone to the Super Bowl. If Derek Carr were the quarterback of, I don't know, if something happened, maybe not the Ravens because it's a different kind of team. Derek Carr was the quarterback of the Bengals from last year or 2 years ago when Joe Burrow got hurt last year. I think he could have led them to the playoffs and beyond. I'm just saying. You can prove, Randall says he can prove my statement about, I don't want to hear outliers, okay? Sure, it happens. Tom Brady is an outlier, and I know that's not who you're talking about. We can find an outlier for everything. Brock Purdy was the last pick of the draft. I don't care. Anthony Richardson was the 4th or 5th pick or whatever he was in the entire NFL draft. Anthony Richardson is whatever is below bum. That's what Anthony Richardson is. Will Levis was a top 3 quarterback in the SEC, according to experts. He was in the first round or the beginning. Was it the bottom of the first round or beginning of the second round? I don't remember. Doesn't matter. Will Levis is a dog. And I've been saying that. Gabe says he thinks Derek Carr is comparable to Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco can succeed in the right situation. I agree. I think that's a very good comparison. Bo Nix was absolutely awful at Auburn. And you know what? Bo Nix is not good now. You want to bring up Bo Nix? He ain't good either. Bo Nix? He's in line with these other bums. Bo Nix is 27th in passer rating. 27th out of 35. You think Bo Nix is good? Bo Nix sucks. Black Preacher Man, you're 100% right. Still keeping it real. Carr is the best quarterback option the Saints have on the team. There's no question. Now, look, I'm going to go back to what I said before we end the show. This is how we're going to end the show today. Because we're going to give predictions tomorrow. We got best bets. Friday is all Saints-Panthers. You answered my question about what? You still didn't even give me a good one. It's not good. Knicks being awful in the SEC but good in Oregon makes my point, says UBN. It's not good. Bo Nix is not good. It's not going to be good. Just saying. But my point of all this is this, okay? We all know, this is one thing I think all of us agree on right now. I think we all agree on this. Major changes need to be made on this team. How many players on this current roster do we think will still be on this roster at the start of the 2027 season, which is not far away? 2027 sounds like not far away. How many? 10 maybe? Maybe less than 10. I'm going to put the over-under at 9.5. You taking the over or the under? That more than 9.5 players on this current team will be here at the start of the 2027 season or under. I'm going to take, I think it's right around that. I'm going to take the over, but slightly over, like 10 or 11. And I'll say the over-under on quarterbacks that are on this team currently who will be on this roster in 2027, I'm going to put it at 0.5, and I'm taking the under. I don't think any of these three quarterbacks, if any of these three quarterbacks are on this roster in 2020, and I don't even mean starting, if any of these three quarterbacks are on this roster in 2027, then this team has done nothing to get better. Hold on. I love this one. Jordan Love looked like shit when he came in for Aaron Rodgers when Rodgers got hurt in his rookie season. Get the hell out of here. He played one game and it was against the Chiefs. Seriously? Get out of here. Black Preacher Man says he thinks over at least 15 players. Who? What 15 players on this team's going to be here? I can tell you, I think Brissett will be here. And this could be a whole show. Maybe it's probably more for the offseason, but it's getting close to the offseason. I think Brissett, I think Kool-Aid's going to be here. I think Fuaga's going to be here. Let's see. I don't think any running back. Olave will probably be here. Other than Fuaga, I don't know a single offensive lineman. So on the offense, I got Fuaga and I got Olave. I can't think of anybody else. Can y'all? Fuaga and Olave. Any other player on the offense? I can't think of anybody, not off the top of my head. Maybe Saldiveri, I doubt it. Saldiveri, or who's the Aziram that they drafted late that we haven't seen yet that's on the practice. Oh, there it goes again, Gabe. Jeez. Don't get me started. If you're listening to the pod, when I do this weird thing with my thumb, out of the clear blue, sometimes it'll just throw a thumbs up on the screen, and it does it at the weirdest time. Adam Varner says Shaheed. Yeah, maybe so. Douglas said Shaheed. Yeah, okay, Shaheed. You got a point. All right, good. There's three. Three on the offense. On the defense, got Brissett. That's 4. Got Kool-Aid. That's 5. I got Alontae Taylor. Probably will still be here. That's 6. Adebo, maybe. None of the linebackers, because Warner will go sign somewhere else. Willie Gay will be long gone. Maybe Granderson. I'm having a tough time. That's an entire show for the offseason. We're going to come back to this one, and I don't know. Maybe this will be one of the first shows we do in March. Gabe's going to remind me. Carr won't be here. Carr won't be here, period. I'm not advocating Carr should be here in 2027. Not at all. Hayner, you think he'll be? I don't think he'll be here in 2027. I don't. They need to start over quarterback. Okay. Look, as much as I think y'all get on Carr, as much as y'all get on Carr for ridiculous reasons, Carr needs to go finish his career somewhere where he can be appreciated. I don't know where that is, but it ain't here. Because y'all ridiculous. Y'all dumb. Not all y'all. No. Eric McCoy, there you go. That's a good one. Gabe says Eric McCoy. Yeah, Eric McCoy should still be here. So now we're at around 8. Might be able to come up with a couple more. We'll see. Adam says Carr can be a mentor. Carr's too late in his career to be. He wants to start for 4 or 5 more years. You don't want to be a mentor. I mean, maybe he could go somewhere that drafts a quarterback that's not quite ready. Randall, dude, it's already stole 150. You stole like 5 minutes of my time today that I can never get back. I love you, but you're so dead wrong. You're dead wrong. Anyway. All right. We're going to wrap it up for today. Again, tomorrow, best bets, Halloween. Who knows? I mean, maybe, did y'all start eating candy already? Maybe y'all started eating candy already. Y'all all hyped up on sugar. I don't know what it is. So tomorrow, best bets. But we will start the show, obviously, as we always do, talking about the Saints. There's not a lot to talk about college-wise. Maybe I'll give you a Tulane pick. I don't know. Great show. Thank you, buddy. We'll see you tomorrow. we'll and Uncle Big Nick. Look, Uncle Big Nick, I thought he did better than he really did, but I think he got his 5-point pick right for the second straight week. Gabe got his pick right again. I got my 5, 4, 3, and 2-point pick right. The only pick I missed was I finally woke up and realized I cannot pick the Carolina Panthers no matter what. They could be 30-point underdogs. I ain't picking the Panthers ever again. At least not this season. I don't know what I was thinking there. But anyway, so I got 14 out of 15 points. My overall record for the season against the spread now above 500. We're getting hot. I told you October was going to be a good month for us, and it has been. So we'll have that. And then on Friday, we are going to have a straight up preview show. I think we're going to have a guest, and I think I know who it is, but I don't want to say yet because I have not confirmed with this person yet. Black Preacher Man, always enjoy listening to the show. We always enjoy having you here. Look, even if I don't agree with you, and even if every now and then I call you a squirrel, and I haven't, Preacher Man, you and I have been on the same page for the most part. I'm talking about some of my other friends here. You know who you are. Even if I get on you, doesn't mean I don't love you. Big Sean got mad at me. Big Sean's been gone for a few weeks. He wasn't joking. If any of y'all know Big Sean, tell him to come back. We love him. I miss him. He took something I said the wrong way. And look, I can be brash. I get it. David, this is a new name I don't recognize. I'm actually going to try to pronounce your last name. Camistos. Think I got it right? For any quarterback to succeed, you must have good players on offense and defense because a football team sport is a team sport. Good quarterbacks minimizing mistakes during the games make plays when the team is needed. No doubt. David, welcome to the Dattitude family. We hope you all come back again tomorrow. It's not just bets. Even if you don't love bets, come talk to us. Come hang out with us. First half of the show will be Saints-Panthers and a little bit Tulane, and I may, who knows, maybe I'll have a nugget from the World Series. Depends on what happens. Game number 5 tonight in the Bronx. Can the Yankees make it go back to L.A. and Chavez Ravine, or will it be over? I don't know. I know the Pels take the night off and then they play again. I think Thursday, and they get to hang out in San Francisco for a day. And who knows what they're doing over there. But who knows what we'll talk about the first 30 minutes of the show before we get to the best bets. We'll see you on that tomorrow. I want to thank Larry Holder, of course, Gabe Henderson, as always. We'll get back into our discussion about QBs. We'll pick it up where we left off. And who knows, who knows what he's going to wear on Halloween. Can't wait. Who knows what I'm going to wear on Halloween. Reminder to subscribe to our Dattitude YouTube page. Click the little bell to receive notifications when we go on the air live. If you haven't subscribed to the YouTube page, you're missing out, man. It's not just the shows. It's our short takes, which are doing very well. Even our TikTok page. In fact, our TikTok page is doing lately even better than our YouTube page. You get notifications when we go on the air live, which is every weekday at 11 a.m. Central Time, except for Tuesday. And a programming note, a week from today, next Wednesday, we're not going to have a show. I have some parent duties. Little one is going on a field trip. And the last time I told her I would be a chaperone, and then I backed out and she cried, and I'm not doing that again. So next Wednesday, no show. But so next week, Monday, Thursday, Friday. And then the bye week, we're going to have a weird schedule too. I don't know exactly what we're going to do them, but I know we're going to take a little time off during the bye week as well. But we'll worry about that then. You can find us also wherever you get your podcasts, including Apple, Spotify, many more. And always find a replay of the show on NOLA.com/sports. You can find Gabe stuff on bet.nola.com. You can find my picks column on bet.nola.com. And then don't forget about our friends, NOLA.com/Saints, the Saints insiders who work their tails off and always will let you know what is going on. The Saints injury reports, the great stuff Dennis Allen says, Mickey Loomis's wonderful nuggets. You'll get them all there. Go check them out. We will see you on Wednesday. Get your candy ready for tomorrow's show. Don't throw them at the screen. I'll figure out how you can get the candy to me. Just don't throw them at the screen. It doesn't do you any good. Happy Halloween, everybody. It should be fun tomorrow. Take it easy, my friends.
If you're looking for the latest scoop and in-depth interviews on the Saints, the NFL, the Pelicans, LSU, along with the best bets of the week, then lucky you. Along with high-powered, in-the-know guests who cover our teams, Jim Derry brings plenty of Dattitude. And he'll always tell you the way it is, or at least the way he thinks it is.